Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm loving that pose from Gabo. Oh, it was just Gabo was frozen there. I thought you were doing a nice little pose with your cap to start with there. It was just with you looking down, like with your finger on the cap. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I was like, that's an interesting
Right.
start there. Yes, good evening, everyone. I am joined by the lovely Daniel and the lovely Gabriel. How are we doing, boys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I'm good, man. I'm good, man.
Good.
Yeah, that was a nice little thing you had going on there.
Sorry,
in your
yeah,
hair
my
as well.
headphones are messing with my hair a bit here.
What a start to this video. We are coming through tonight because it is Thursday night, and that means Thursday night football again, ladies and
Let's
gentlemen.
go.
What a good time to be alive. Before we get into the Thursday night game, well, actually, we will come to it in a little bit. But we are going to revisit, as we have done the last couple of weeks, our NFL tiers. So we have the tiers up, as you can see. We will go through team by team. We'll have a little bit of a chat about their exploits last week. And then we'll maybe have a little delve into some little fantasy, NFL fantasy decisions upcoming. I had something I wanted to float to you guys, potentially, a little discussion maybe.
Cool.
And then we will go on to discussing tonight's game, which is Daniel's Houston Texans taking on the Carolina Panthers.
Super
So
Bowl
we'll get to
bound,
that
baby.
last.
Did you say Super Bowl what?
He
Super Bowl
did say
bound.
Super Bowl bound, yeah. Which I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, let's. Should we kick off with the rankings?
Yes.
Let's
All right.
start with that.
Where shall we start?
Let's just start from the bottom.
again.
Starting from
Yeah.
the bottom.
Starting
Yeah,
from the bottom
bottom
now.
now,
Here.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Did we have is the Giants the very bottom, or did we have the Atlanta Falcons as the very bottom? I can't remember.
Atlanta's the bottom.
Atlanta's at the very bottom, which I mean, if I can just go ahead and start, I do.
Kick off.
You know, at least I do want to bump them above the Jets. The Jets looked horrible
Yes.
once again, and the Falcons. You know, as much as they were the Falcons, they did fit close with the complete best team in the league. So
Yeah.
I do think that we should give him some credit there. Cordell Patterson had a baller game, and Calvin Ridley finally rewarded those fantasy players that drafted him. So yeah, I mean, the Jets just looked horrible. I mean, was it 4 interceptions?
Zach Wilson did not look good at
That
all.
O-line is just garbage. So yeah, if it were to me, I would just move the Falcons above the Jets. I don't know about on top of the Jaguars yet, but they deserve a bit there. What do you guys
I think I'd agree with that. Like you said, I think there was a point in the game where they actually made it quite close, and I think a lot of people were gonna start asking questions of the Bucs and their potential credentials. But of course, they sort of run away with it in the end, which was expected. But as you say, I think they showed something. They still have got some nice pieces. I think the quarterback is the issue for them, and I'm not really sure if Matt Ryan is the answer. It'll be interesting to see if they get to mid-season, whether they decide to make a decision on that potentially. But yeah, I'd be happy with them moving up. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, Jets need to go to the bottom. I think we kind of knew that it would be like the Jets, Texans, and Detroit Lions, but the Texans and Detroit Lions look like a whole level up compared to where the Jets are right now.
We might need to bring back that trash column at the bottom.
I honestly, we were talking about this last week. Remember, we were going to say like trash of the week or something like that.
Oh, we did
And
actually.
I think
We did actually say that.
The
Yeah,
Jets
I think
really deserve to be in,
I
like,
think they
trash
yeah.
of the week.
Yeah.
And they might be there the entire season, but for the kind of the inaugural week, we can put in the Jets.
I think
There you
Congratulations to the New York Jets.
At least the Falcons. The
Considering
good thing the
Sunny
Falcons did though is they put up a bit of a fight, a bit more of a fight against the Bucks than I thought they would. It was fairly close. Was it third quarter or the second half? Beginning of the second half, anyway.
Quarter,
before the Bucks kind of like were like, okay, we actually have
Pulled
to
away,
start
yeah,
winning.
yeah.
I mean, before the pick sixes, they were actually just it was a 1.1 drive. What's it called?
One possession.
One
possession game. So it was scary because I had a bet for the typical just Bucks beating the spread, and it's like, hello.
Yep, they had to. They scored. I think it was like 20 or 21 in the fourth quarter. So they really
they
took it out
got
in the
20.
fourth quarter.
Yeah, 20 in the fourth. So,
Yeah.
I mean, again, beginning of the fourth quarter, 28-25.
Yeah,
Not bad effort against, again, a potential championship contender.
exactly.
So, yeah, fair enough to that on the Falcons. Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll move on.
I think they stay where
What do
they
you think about the Jags, Dan?
are.
Stay where they are?
Very much a work in progress. I don't think they're. I think they just solidified in that spot there. They're definitely not above Detroit right now. They still have yet to win a game, and the Texans are definitely above them. So I would leave Jags where they are.
I agree.
Gabby?
I would actually leave all these four. I'll just make it quick, and I'll just leave them as they are. I mean, the Texans. The thing is, like, I would move them all up. It's just I don't want to move them up a tier just yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Daniel Jones has shown that he can do it. He's their RB1 for the New York Giants. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley owners. And the Texans are surprising. I mean, look, if it's before the new quarterback coming around, maybe this team falls, but it's just not. We can't really drop them until we see what Mills brings up,
Yeah.
And the Lions just, they lost to the Packers, but they were scoring.
They were expected
They were there
to
until the
lose
second
that,
half.
though.
The beginning of the second half, they were right there.
They were scoring. I mean, they kept it close. Jared Goff is, kind of like silencing me. I mean, he's
he's actually not been too bad.
Yeah.
And for those TJ Hawkinson owners,
Yeah, that's me.
good thing that no other weapon. I mean, Tyrell Williams today just came out. He was supposed to come back, and then he got a concussion in training, I think, and now he's in IR again. So it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, TJ Hawkinson owners keep putting them there. But yeah, that's my take.
He could. I could generally see TJ ending up as tight end 1 this season if they keep on having such issues. Like,
it'll be between him and Waller, just based on
actually,
target share.
Waller has been he's been disgusting so far this year. Like, my.
I mean, I'll disagree. I think Kelsey's still up there. If we're talking pure scores, then I think TJ Hawkinson has what it takes to stay at par with Kelsey. But Kelsey's just completely reliant. And he has the thing with Kelsey's like he's not the only weapon. Yet he gets a ton of points. I don't know if you guys saw his run. Like that won me the game against Richard. By the way. The one where like DeAndre Swift was like I was so close to DeAndre Swift beating me. It was only because Kelsey pulled almost like a 40-50 yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
I was like, this man is insane.
To be fair, once he gets going, like that's a big dude, and he's not slow either.
And the problem is I agree with. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say at present, Gronkowski is actually tight end 1. Closely followed by Kelsey, then Hawkinson, then Waller. And then there's a gap. So it's sort of those 4 at the minute. It's interesting to see that Kyle Pitts, many thought was going to be a big part of the Atlanta offense, down in 12. And George Kittle, 13 at the minute.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not for lack of targets for Kyle Pitts, that's for sure. I think it's just the quality of the quarterback. I think he had something. He leads the team in targets, and that's a team with Calvin Ridley on it. So it kind of shows you like how much he's going to be involved, but he's still a rookie, and his time will come. It's just being integrated into a new offense, a new city, new everything. So
I think George Kittle is more of the storyline there for me, considering he was massive last season. That's just not quite got there yet. But then there's that. Jimmy G, maybe not quite.
The whole 49ers are the same, though. It's like not a single person has lived up to the expectations that they should have.
We'll come back to the 49ers.
Yeah. But I think this week is Giants versus Falcons, so that'll be interesting. The Giants could go all the way down to trash of the week if the Falcons really spank them. I think that'll be a good. And weirdly enough, that'll be a pretty fun game to watch, I think. So I guess possibly the bottom tier, the Eagles tier, could see some shuffling around, just purely based on the fact that there's at least one matchup there. And the Texans are definitely an interesting one because they were, again, when Tyrod Taylor was playing, were beating the Cleveland Browns, and then once he went out and David Mills got his first ever snaps as a quarterback, things sort of took a turn for the worse. But they hung around against, a conference contender / Super Bowl finalist. I think it's not bad from the Texans. So we'll just have to see what kind of quarterback Davis Mills really is.
Davis Mills? Is his name Davis?
Yeah, I think
That's a weird
Davis
first name.
Mills. Yeah. So
No offense to Davis, but
yeah, yep. So the Texans are calling it like Mills Mafia instead of Bills. So
wow.
Yeah.
Great banter, it really is. Okay, so we're gonna leave our Gross later as it is. I'm pretty happy with that.
I am too.
Shall we move up to a Badish? Gabbo, any particular team you want to start with, or do you want to go just Panthers and work our way up?
I think we could start with the Panthers. I think there's not. I also don't think there's a lot of movement here. But if I were to do two big movements, would be the Patriots and the Panthers here. I think the Patriots defense has shown to. Well, I know it was against the Jets, but even with Mac Jones leading, I think the defense is stepping up quite a bit, and I'm actually keeping them, hopefully, instead of dropping them in my leagues. But the Panthers, man. The Panthers, I know it's Jameis Winston, but that defense is just showing up and being led by Christian McCaffrey. I think we have to give him a bit more credit than the bottom of the badish. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think Brian Burns on the Panthers is an absolute monster. That guy's going to be a top defensive end for quite a few years. And yeah, McCaffrey is just an animal, like an absolute animal. So I think they have to move up. I think we have to move the Dolphins down. Not only from just their performance this week, but now Tua's injured, I believe. Yeah, that could be an interesting experiment. I think I would potentially say Dolphins to the bottom of Badish with a view to, depending on their performance this week, I can't remember who they have, but they could be dropping down a tier, I feel, by the time we get to doing this again next week.
They're playing the Raiders, so yeah, they will be dropping down a tier.
Yeah, they're probably going to be dropping.
Yeah, I would wholly agree with that. I've always said Tua is not a great quarterback for the NFL. He's very much a college quarterback. I would not be surprised if a trade for Deshaun Watson is closer than we expect, because he has already shown that he's not that good, and they need someone kind of like Deshaun to compete, and you're kind of thinking the Dolphins should be competing in the next now till 4 years time. So I think they really do need to force a trade through for Deshaun Watson. I would put them at the very bottom of that pile, very, very close to going into Gross, scoring 0 points. Like anytime a team scores 0 points, not even a field goal, is utterly pathetic, no matter who the opposition is. Remember, these are NFL professional players. There should never be a fat donut on the scoreboard. So yeah, I don't like.
It's always the Dolphins. It seems, huh? It's always the Dolphins.
Dolphins stink.
If it wasn't for the 4 picks for Zach Wilson, I think the Dolphins would definitely be our trash of the week.
Yeah.
Like, they're lucky that he was so bad.
They may be trash of the week next week. They're playing a very good Raiders team.
Yeah,
so,
I can see it. Yeah, I can see that.
I would move Dolphins down to the bottom, and I would move New England up and put the Panthers ahead of the Broncos. That's where I would put them. Broncos look okay, but not convinced by Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, they were playing the Jags, and they still let up a decent amount of points. And it was 15 points they let up last week. So yeah, 13 points. 13.
Yeah,
so it was only a 10-point game. Not that great. The Texans put up more points than them. So I don't have that much faith in the Broncos at the moment. It's very much a quarterback thing. I think, again, Deshaun Watson goes to the Broncos. That team could easily be a good challenger, I think. They have some really good weapons on offense, just not a great quarterback.
The Bengals obviously lost this week as well. And the Eagles, actually. Do we give them sort of the benefit of the doubt? I mean, the Eagles, actually, both of them kept it quite close.
Yeah.
Eagles only lost by 6. And
yes and no.
Bengals only lost by 3. So do we... Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, well, but the Bengals, I will say that it was two garbage touchdowns towards the end. So sure, they could have come back and everything, and they got it pretty close, but we were down 14 points, way before towards the end of the game. So, I mean, I guess I do like that defense quite a bit. I mean, they did keep Montgomery pretty tight. And they were, I think Justin Fields came in for that game towards the end. Yeah, because Dalton's out. Justin Fields is confirmed to start.
Yes, Bears fans everywhere like, yeah.
I actually think they're gonna beat the Browns.
I did see that on your little predictions that we made. Yeah, I wanted to discuss that.
No, I'm not putting the effort, like all the effort on Justin Fields. It's just that defense. The defense is playing really well. And Baker has.
I mean that defense plus some half competent QB play is going to be a good combination. I just don't see them beating the Browns.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with the Bengals Eagles in reality. I don't know. Maybe bring in. No, I think they're still above the Patriots. I think.
So Bengals are 1-1. The Eagles are they 1-1 as well? Patriots 1-1.
1-1. Yeah.
Panthers also 1-1.
Oh, correct. Panthers are 2-0.
2-0.
2-0. So then, I mean, could we argue as the 2-0 team, the Panthers should go to the top of our baddish category, or do we need to see more from them?
I want to see more personally, just to increase them, as week by week performance, not like a complete revamp of the tiers, but they're showing good. I mean, Sam Darnold hopefully keeps picking it up, keeps getting hot, and
I need to
this
see.
guy was in the Jets for.
I need to see them smack the Texans. I really do, to put them further up. Texans are without their quarterback, missing 3 or 4 defensive players.
They should.
A massacre, and if it is, then I would be more than happy to put them maybe even towards the top of a baddish. If it is, or maybe even higher than that. Who knows? It's 3-0.
I was going to say, but would you? I mean, if they do,
I think it depends on the results of others.
Potentially, yeah.
I think it really depends on the results of others.
I think they're a very well-rounded team right now. I mean, I did pick up that defense playing against a third-string QB. It's a nice streamer option.
I think I picked them up in one of my leagues as well. Yeah.
But I'd wait. Even if they smack the Texans, I wouldn't really take them out of that tier or put them at the top. I mean, it's still Texans with a third QB, but they will be playing the Cowboys next week, so that's gonna be fun. Christian McCaffrey versus Ezekiel Elliott and Tom Pollard.
That will be a good game.
But yeah, I don't know about you guys. I'm happy to leave it as is and see where we go.
I'm happy about that.
That's fine.
I just thought I'd put the question to you guys. So I'm here to facilitate discussion. Let's just see what you think. Okay, let's move on to our underdog contenders. Daniel, again, anywhere in particular you want to start, or just
get rid of the Saints? Get rid of the Saints. Put them in baddish. I'm serious. Put them. Oh, I don't even know. I want to throw them all the way into trash of the week as well. Can we put 2 trash of the weeks?
I mean, we are making things up as we go along.
No,
they did score a touchdown, though.
Congrats.
Yeah, I don't think.
Touchdown.
Yeah. But otherwise, they did get fairly comprehensively beaten by Panthers.
think if they got beaten by the Panthers, those guys should be below Broncos, in my opinion.
Want to drop them that much in one go?
Wow,
100%.
What's the Saints' record now?
1-1.
I mean, remember they smacked the Packers, so
they did, but I don't know. I don't like that week 1 game because I know it wasn't the real Packers. Like if we replayed that game tomorrow, it would be an absolute massacre to the Packers. It was like a one-off, like crazy scenario.
I mean the Saints stats are disgusting. So they had Winston was 11 of 22 for only 111
4
yards.
sacks, man.
2 interceptions. Yeah. Rushing, Winston had the most rushing yards.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Kamara
amazing.
had 8 carries for 5 yards. I mean,
Winston's quarterback rating was 26.9. I'm not even sure if I've ever seen a quarterback rating that low before.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
crap!
not good.
Yeah, this team
That's
stinks.
really not
This
good.
team stinks. I think the Texans will play better than this. Will score more than one touchdown. All right, hope so.
Wow.
But I would
Well,
very
yeah, that's
happily
bad.
put them, if not in trash of the week. But I guess if you're trash of the week, you can't have a duo combo. So they've escaped that because the Jets really did more of the trash of the week. So I put them
Yeah.
below the Broncos. I'm really happy with that. Good, makes me happy.
But then I honestly think if we're giving, because that's quite a big drop for the Saints.
Yeah.
I why are we not moving the Panthers up higher? Again, for a team that is now 2-0, you really think a big, because we're looking at a Saints team that, yeah, okay, it may not be the real Saints, but they did beat the Packers. That is a thing that happened. The Panthers have had two fairly comprehensive, easy victories.
And they beat the Jets and the Saints, so there's still quite a bit. So I'm actually I understand putting the Saints down here. It's just the whole point. We started with the Saints up here, so we went down
I think
to
that-
here,
yeah, that's-
and then we're
that's
jumping
like-
all the way at the bottom, right?
Yeah, that's a
Well,
big
this is
drop.
week 3 already. We're into week 3, and if your RB1 is putting up what was it, like 8 yards or 6 yards or
5
something,
yards,
and
5
your
yards.
quarterback has a 26.9 rating, this is not good. The Panthers defense is not like they're up against the Browns or the Cardinals or the Steelers or the Tennessee Titans or the Colts. They're playing against the Panthers, man. Like, this should have been a high scoring game, but it wasn't because they couldn't score a touchdown. If your offense isn't clicking, you're gonna lose games. If they come back and win, who are they playing this week? Let me have a quick look. They're playing the Patriots. Very good game. So I think if they beat the Patriots here, we can easily move them kind of a bit higher. But this really is a week where I think if the Saints lose to the Patriots, they could end up in ew gross pretty quickly. But to me, if you guys want to put them higher, go ahead. Remember, it's
Where would you put them, Gabbo, if you had free reign and you could do whatever you want?
I'm just thinking like slowly moving them down. So I would, dropping them down a tier is already enough.
I think I tend to agree with Gabbo. I think they had a poor game. They have to drop. I think dropping them all the way down straight away is a bit drastic, personally.
So you don't think Bengals could beat them, the Eagles could beat them, the Patriots could beat them, Panthers are already beating them. I think everyone in this tier beats them.
But again, by that logic, I think the Panthers have shown that they could potentially beat the 3 teams ahead of them, so they should maybe.
I'm not
be
too
further
sure
ahead.
about that though. I really don't think
No,
they would.
but even then, like, I feel like by that logic, I would look at Daniel Jones beating the Dolphins, Daniel Jones beating Teddy Bridgewater, in my opinion. So if we go by week performance, then we could. If we're bringing think of it like it's an average. We're putting the Saints right now like super at the bottom, and it's bringing its average down based on where we started. And it just keeps falling and free falling and free falling. And
I mean, sure, we can just delay it a week. I mean, next week you guys are going to be down where I said they are, so it's fine. Leave them there,
Right.
and we can happily drop those fuckers down all the way if we want. So, yeah.
For those guys that are watching, if you are disagreeing, agreeing with us, we've got the live chat open. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you think. If we're making some terrible decisions, if you think that we are absolutely crazy, you let us know. We will discuss your comments. Okay, I think let's leave Saints there for now. I agree with you, Gabbo. I think let's not go too drastic. And Dan, yeah, if they have another poor week, we will drop them.
They
The
could
Patriots, very
you
well
have to drop
be.
them, don't you? If they lose
Yeah,
to the Patriots,
If the Saints suck, apparently, according to Sentlen. Right, let's move on. Let's move on to another team in our underdog contender. Anywhere you'd like to go to next, Gabbo or Daniel?
we can just start at the bottom with the Washington football team.
Team.
So it feels like ages ago since they played because it was last Thursday.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's
it was
been an
Monday.
entire
Yeah, it was
week.
Thursday Night Football,
It's
wasn't it? Yeah.
weird. So it was a very close game, 1 point game. I don't know. I'm not even sure if they're an underdog contender with Heineke being the quarterback. I do like him a lot, but I just don't think he's enough to kind of like make them even an underdog. at this
I
point.
sort of agree with you there.
So the thing, okay, I'll jump in and disagree immediately. No, but honestly,
Because of
like
the defense.
all that, but I mean, I still believe, sure we don't like Heineke, but guy blew up 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, 34 out of 46 pass attempts. Like he killed it. He brought it back. He played an amazing game. So
No, I think he's
I
great.
don't think they I don't think they deserve a bump. I just don't think they deserve
No,
a
that's what I was gonna say. What I'm saying is, I think Heineke's a great quarterback. I just don't think he's like anything super special. Like I think people are overreacting a little bit about how good he is. Remember, he's only played like 5 NFL games or something. Like, remember, Carson Wentz has a Super Bowl ring. Let's relax. So yeah, I would leave them where they are. Give them another week. They are playing the Bills this week, so it is a very
That'll
tough,
be that'll be a
tough
good litmus
matchup.
test.
But it's going to be a very defensive game, I think, because the Bills' defense is #1 ranked defense right now in terms of fantasy points, and Washington are up there. It's just I guess we'll see how good Josh Allen is on the day and how good Tyler is it Tyler or Taylor?
Taylor
Heineke is
Taylor
on the day.
Heineke. Interesting spelling of that last name as well.
I like it. It's good.
You
know what? I want him to be good though. He's like a likable guy that I want to win.
Yeah.
So I hope the Washington football team win this weekend. Just based on, I hope that Taylor Heineke has a good NFL career. It's always cool to see a guy who is kind of like wasn't really supposed to be quarterback. He's only just gotten this chance because Fitzpatrick's been injured and Alex Smith last season was injured, so he's finally got an opportunity here. So I kind of want him to do well. So should we talk about the Colts then?
So that was going to be my question to you as a segue. With Carson Wentz possibly out, being the first, I think that I read it was the first quarterback to ever injure both of his ankles in one play.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was the weirdest play of all time.
So with that in mind, assuming that Carson Wentz don't show up, I mean, they had a great comeback with the Rams. They also kept it super close.
They did.
It was quite intense.
Surprisingly, yeah.
After the week one,
now he's out.
Surprising.
But now he's out. So,
but he's not out. He's questionable to play. He came out on his press conference today and said every hour he feels better. He thinks he's gonna be ready to go this week. But it's whether
the guy's made of glass.
I know. I 100% agree. He's not gonna make it past like week.
But
4.
we can only go by what he's saying.
Yeah.
And I mean, ankle sprains. Yeah, it's not as if he's done like his ACL or something. So he should be back. If not this week, then maybe the week after. I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I think right there where they are pretty good. With Carson Wentz, they're there. Without Carson Wentz, they're behind the Washington football team.
They're 0-2, but they did put up a very good fight with what we would call a Super Bowl finalist. So I think you leave them where they are, see where they come out. Who are they playing this week? Does anyone know? Do I have to quickly check?
Lost against the Seahawks.
They're playing against the Titans. Ooh, an AFC South super clash. So I guess they could be 0-3, and I think if you're 0-3, you might have to drop.
But even then,
yes.
like they're 0-3 versus the Seahawks, Rams, and Titans. Like that's not a nice, pretty way to start.
It's not. But are you really an underdog contender if you can't beat any of them?
That's true.
I don't think you
That's
are. So.
And to be fair, 0-3 is 0-3, no matter who you lost those 3 games to.
Right.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind when we come to the Vikings, shall we?
Yeah, let's come back to that. Yeah.
All right, Chicago.
Chicago.
What are we thinking with Chicago?
You're high on Chicago, Gabo. I feel.
I mean, they're just gonna go better. I think they're just gonna get better now with Justin Fields.
I still think
maybe
again
not by a lot, but
they won the game. But again, I don't really know how they won, considering they only had 116 yards passing. They only just had over like 120 yards rushing. Like, how?
it was a very slow game. I remember watching
Yeah.
the
Like,
beginning.
if
I was like, I have.
Anytime the Bears are playing, you have to like bet the under because the games are so slow and boring. It's the way that football is.
I had both David Montgomery and Joe Mixon in 2 of my leagues, and I'm like, I'm putting the game because it's my star RBs, and nothing was going through.
Yeah.
I'll I'll leave him there. I mean, I don't think they go above the Raiders and the Cowboys just yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't think they've shown enough just yet. I think, yeah, they do have the potential, especially if they are going to start Justin Fields now. They might actually potentially
Please
look
God,
decent.
start Justin Fields. I don't know what Matt
No,
Nagy is thinking.
they've confirmed, haven't they? They confirmed he's
No,
starting.
no,
Yeah,
it's
he's
confirmed
starting.
he's starting, but he also said when Andy Dalton is injury free, he's the starter again. So it's like
Really?
it's
Wow.
ridiculous at this point. But
that doesn't happen. There's no way that happens. Like
Matt Nagy sucks, man.
Really?
I know a lot of Bear fans. I've got a couple friends who are Bear fans, and they all say they hate Matt Nagy because he doesn't play players the way they're supposed to be played. He doesn't give them the right opportunities. Blah blah blah. So I wouldn't be surprised, just based off of what they say. Of course, I don't really know that much about the Bears, but based on what my friends say, I am leaning towards Justin Fields probably being benched no matter what he does because Matt Nagy wants to be right about Andy Dalton. I have a feeling that's what will happen.
Yeah, that would be a horrendous decision. I just feel you're losing fan support. I don't understand that at all. Unless they're just trying to get another low draft pick. But
you're not gonna be that
you have the
low,
chance.
I think, but-
Yeah.
You have the chance to take the second place in this division.
I
Losing
genuinely like with how the Vikings have started. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
And I feel like it's weird though because Justin Fields is miles ahead in terms of kind of development than like Zach Wilson. It's weird that Zach Wilson is starting, but Justin Fields, who has played out of his mind at collegiate level, got to a national championship final, the same as Trevor Lawrence did, the same as Mac Jones did, but he is the one who's being benched, and he had, I think I said it before in the last one, 49 touchdowns in his senior year at Ohio State. That's an insane number of touchdowns. I don't think Andy Dalton's even sniffed 49 touchdowns in his life, so it's a weird one.
Yeah, very
It really
strange. So while the Bears continue to puzzle us, I think they have to stay.
Yeah, they do.
Raiders, another victory, no?
Yeah, I think these two teams, Cowboys and Raiders, are looking better and better as time goes.
Yep.
The Raiders defense has shown up. Another great streamer for the week against the Dolphins with Jacoby Brissett.
Easy. Yeah.
So
I personally think Raiders up to good challenger. You have to put them
I think I agree.
in between San Francisco and LA Chargers for just this moment here, so I can
for now, okay.
envision it.
Okay.
I think Derek Carr has started the season really, really well.
Yeah.
Really starting to answer some of the doubters, having deep touchdowns. He found Ruggs on that long one, didn't he?
Yeah.
So dumb.
Sealed the game.
looking really solid. Just running back game, I don't think has been great for the Raiders. Still, Josh
Jacobs has been injured, so we can't really say
to be
too
seen,
much.
yeah. So they had a grand total of, it looks like, about 50 yards rushing. So they haven't had anything on the ground. But again, once Josh Jacobs comes back, let's see.
I would put the Raiders actually the top of good challenger, to be quite honest with you. San Francisco have not looked good. San Francisco have struggled against both the Eagles and the Lions, nearly blowing that 30-point or whatever point lead it was. Only less than one touchdown against the Eagles, whereas, and those two teams, let's look at them in our charts here. Like the Eagles are in badish, so, and the Detroit Lions are in ew gross. It's not like they've been playing against anyone good. They haven't even looked good. Whereas the Raiders are playing Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers, who are between good challenger and conference contenders. That, in my mind, puts them above San Francisco and the Seahawks as well. They just look great. I mean, there's not really that many more teams who are more difficult than Baltimore and the Steelers.
Yeah.
Really.
Look, let's do this because I actually agree with you. We can definitely shuffle these all up. I would still bump the Cowboys up there as well. I don't think they deserve to be in this conversation.
Okay.
And then maybe we can try and drop someone to the underdog contenders.
Just do it now. Just do it now.
So look, let's talk about these teams.
Pop them over there,
Let's talk about these teams one by one and shuffle them.
Okay.
Hey, well, let's
just do the Vikings now. Let's rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It's difficult because although we are now 0-2, I don't think we've actually been that bad. Yes, we gave up a lot of yards to the Cardinals, and Kyler Murray did really bend us over. And Bashard Breeland, I think, is now the 99th out of 99 rated cornerback
So
in the
sad
National
to
Football
listen to
League.
this.
Yes, yeah, and we can't have a field goal just ever go our way. But again, we put ourselves in a position to win that game. We're in a position to win game one against the Bengals, but I still think we were screwed by the referees there. So I don't think we've played awfully. So I don't think our season is done by all means. We're only 2 games in. I still think we have the team to put up a challenge, but you could argue that we have, with the record, we probably do deserve to go into underdog contender. I mean I don't see why we're drastically much better than the Bears.
Sure.
I don't know.
I
I don't know what
I
you
like
guys
that
think.
comment.
I'm trying to be as unbiased as I possibly can while I'm sitting here wearing my Vikings jersey.
I'll share my piece super quickly. I think I was gonna root for keeping the Vikings there until you said that you guys are not overly that much better than the Bears. So
I mean,
not
it's difficult because I think I think the Bears probably have us on defense. I still think our offense, Kirk has been really solid. I will still sing his praises. He's had a really good start to the season, and I honestly believe if we were saying 2-0 with those 2 wins, I genuinely believe he would be popping up in some underdog dark horse MVP discussions because he's been really solid. He's not thrown a pick yet. He would have had 2 game-winning drives if we'd had that kick made and Dalvin had not been called as a fumble there. So I genuinely think he'd be an MVP conversation. Dalvin has been great. Otherwise, Thielen's looked really good. Justin Jefferson has not quite kicked off the season just yet, but he showed flashes. So I think offense has looked pretty strong, but our defense has just been absolutely nowhere to be seen. So I don't know. It's difficult.
What do you think, Dan?
Dan?
I don't think
Don't go breaking my heart.
I personally probably wouldn't put them into underdog contender because they've lost by a total of 4 points across 2 games. And they have been there at the very last second. Like every second of every game, they've been ultra competitive, fighting to the very end, forcing overtimes, forcing a last minute kick. They could easily, like Seb said, they could easily be 2-0. So it's not like they're getting blown out. It's not like they're being slightly beaten. It's literally the last second of every game. It's the last kick of every game.
We are last season's Chargers.
Yeah, so based on that, like they could easily be 2-0. They should be 2-0. It's the beginning of the season. I'm not quite ready to dump them. I think if they lost 3 in a row, then yes, they should 100% be dumped down. But I'm just not too sure because Arizona playing at Arizona gave them every dollar that they deserve there, and they're a conference contender, a top conference contender at that. So I'm not quite ready to dump them. But if you two think they're going down, then that's fine by me.
No. Let's keep them.
But personally, I think they're too good to be going down. Yes, it's a team game and like kickers are involved and whatever. But like I said, it's a total of 4 points. It's being down to the very last second, very last kick. It is not like they're getting blown out. It's
I think also
it's a
the
difficult
fact
one,
that the NFC North has not started well at all.
Yeah.
I think us, the Bears, are both 0-2. Packers are now 1-1. Who am I forgetting? The Lions are obviously trash, so they're 0-2. So it's the division is still wide open. I still think we could just as well finish top of the division.
The Bears are 1-1, right? Yeah, they beat the Bengals.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 1-1. But it's still it's still super close.
Yeah, it's so close.
I think we're still up there.
Here's my take. So on one completely stupid logic is my OCDness just wants to bring a team down.
I would bring a team
down. There's no 2 rows. Okay, I see. I think I know which one you're talking about. All right, we can get to that one later. I think he's talking about 49ers, so we'll talk about them when they come. No?
No.
Okay.
Don't tell me the Ravens.
Not the Ravens.
Not the Ravens.
Shouldn't be the Ravens.
Could be.
We'll
Could
come
be
to it, we'll come
soon.
to it.
Anyway,
I mean,
so what I was.
Yeah, go ahead, Gabba. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep him there. I just feel like they're gonna be 0-3. I think Russell's gonna cook them. But what I will say is your biggest enemy is indeed yourself. First game was the penalties. Second game, the kicker. You know.
Yep.
So
I think
you guys
I
gotta
think I
get
sent
your shh together.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I think I sent.
Please
sent
don't.
Yeah, I mean, we've not had. I think I sent a photo into our group chat of field goal efficiency over the last 10 years or something, and the Vikings are like by far like no one's close in how bad we've been. Like it's just.
You know what would be really interesting to see if this is kind of like Minnesota curse at this point. If you look at the kicker ratings year by year, and you see the changes every time a kicker goes from one team into the Minnesota Vikings, and see how the ratings go down.
We used to have Daniel Carlson, who's now gone to the Raiders and is just stroking everything. He couldn't hit a field goal to save his life when he was with us. Blair Walsh, who was a very competent kicker, I think, before he came to us, and then we obviously had that game against the Seahawks for, I think it was the NFC conference final, maybe, where he could have, put us into
Dan
the next
Bailey
round.
as well, who was in the
Dan Bailey,
in the Cowboys.
again, a very competent kicker for the Cowboys, comes to us, can't save his life. So I do think
at this point it's
it's
the trainer. It's the
I just seem to pick teams that become cursed to support. Like the Clippers, cursed. Vikings, cursed.
but
Liverpool,
then,
I feel, have slightly beaten that curse now. But
Seb, at the same time, then you get the last minute, Case Keenum throw to Stephon Diggs to win,
true.
against the Saints and cost me $40. So
but then we pick them and they lose to the Bengals and we
do a fumble overtime.
Oh, God,
overtime week 1 and then
nightmare.
All right. Well,
Okay, so we'll leave them as they are. Dan, who are you picking to go down potentially? Then let's go on to that.
I think the Chargers.
You've not been impressed with them so far.
Impressed at all. No, I thought they'd be a lot better than they are. I just don't see them mounting that much of a challenge compared to the teams I look around. They got beaten by Dallas, so in my eyes, Dallas should be above them. I think Baltimore are a better team. I think the Raiders are a better team. I think the 49ers are a better team. I think if the Vikings did play them, Vikings would probably beat them as well. They just don't seem to be a well-oiled offense right now. They don't look that good. So I would be happy dropping them.
I don't know.
Gabby, you disagree?
I completely disagree. I mean, I saw the game with the Cowboys Chargers. It was we both thought it was going to be an over the whatever the spread was for the points. It was going to be a high scoring point. Everyone put in all your Keenan Allens, your Mike Williams, your Amari Coopers, and CeeDee Lambs. Everyone's going to score. Dak Prescott is going to be a baller. But that game just became really defensive really quickly. I do think they have the weapons. I do think they have the O-line for it, the defensive line for it. I'm down to bring them down just based on this performance, but I still think they
also sucked week 1. They nearly lost against Washington. They won by 4 points.
I mean, I was just going to say,
another great defense, and it's just to me, I just can't fathom them yet. From what I've seen, below the Vikings just yet. They're on their way, and they're gonna play the Chiefs now, which they're always monster games. I think we should give Justin Herbert a bit more credit, but that's up to you guys. I mean, I'll be pulling them up here.
He did have 2 interceptions as well. He lost them the game, really.
I mean, the thing is, it's difficult because you say about the offense. Yes, Herbert did have 2 interceptions, but Keenan Allen went off for 108 yards. Mike Williams had 91. Austin Eckler only 54 on the ground.
But you can have 1,000,000 yards, but if you don't score on those yards, it doesn't mean shit. Like it's like you have to score. Like with those yards, you should be scoring 35 points, but they scored 14. Or was it 14? 17.
I would probably put them above the Vikings, but I think they have to drop below the Cowboys.
Well, then that pretty much averages like here.
Yes, I would be happy with that.
To me, I would put this year just for it to look pretty.
No, we're not doing it just for it looking pretty, bro. Okay.
But are you
No,
okay with that, Dan? For now, see what they
Ye-
do against the Chiefs.
yeah.
If they get blown out, then we'll
That's
drop them
we
down.
can see. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. I was just probably being a bit harsh, like I normally am. But yeah, that's good. Let's see what they do again. It's kind of like similar to the Saints. I guess we'll see how they play this week, and if they stink, then we drop them.
just while we're taking a little pause there, we've had a couple of comments. Big King 97 still don't understand how Vikings and Cowboys are up there. I don't know if you've just tuned in, but we did just discuss about the Vikings, and I was fairly unbiased. They are on the cusp of potentially coming down, depending on this week's results. So let's hope we don't screw that up.
Yeah, so
Cowboys. We didn't really talk about the Cowboys. Should we discuss?
Yeah,
the Cowboys?
we're just gonna get on the Cowboys now. But just to clarify, so it's not that we're rating these teams based on their performance of the last game. It's just overall where we started, which was actually preseason, and then gone week by week.
Sort of week by week, yeah.
These teams could be going on a trend down, indeed. A few of them are. A lot of them are on trending upwards, like the Panthers. So we'll see where they go. But week by week, we'll be adjusting. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell me, Big Kid. You don't have to convince me. I'm down to put the Vikings down in trash. So. All right, let's move it up.
Cowboys. The other comment actually from Big King was also ref screwed them out of a touchdown. Thoughts on that, Dan?
I don't know. That game was a bit fishy with the refs. It was a bit all over the place. I remember thinking that there was a lot of missed calls or misinterpreted calls. But remember, Dallas went to LA. They beat the LA Chargers. I think you have to put them above the LA Chargers. Based on that, they have a very, very well-oiled machine on their offense. And, we were saying their defense kind of stinks. They held up pretty well. Like they gave up a lot of yards. I'll give them that. They gave up a lot of yards to the Chargers, but the Chargers didn't do anything.
Again, as you said, if you don't get the ball over the goal line, it
exactly.
doesn't matter, does it?
So that's why I would leave Dallas looked good, and I as a Texans fan, I hate to say it, Dallas Cowboys are the worst enemy, the worst team, but they do look decent with Dak at the helm. It's just whether that team can stay healthy and whether I think Zeke has been really underwhelming. Don't you guys believe? Imagine taking like fourth or fifth in fantasy. It would not be.
He's not quite been there, no.
I mean, I picked up Pollard immediately into my leagues. Immediately.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked good on Sunday.
Pass catching. Yeah, his pass catching abilities. They're like using Zeke a lot less in the pass catching side, and if they keep doing that to Tom Pollard, then
I also think Dallas aren't that far ahead in games, so Zeke is used a lot less. So the Bucks, they were behind, and then the Chargers game was a bit too close. So I think they were trying to air it out a little bit more. Remember, they do have crazy good weapons at wide receiver, and when Zeke came in as a rookie, it was only really Dez Bryant that was a decent wide receiver. The other one was like Cole Beasley, I think, was the wide receiver for the Cowboys. So Zeke had a lot more shares, targets, whatever you want to call it, as a rookie, but now there's CeeDee Lamb,
a few more mouths to feed.
Yeah, not Cooper Kupp. What's his name? Michael Gallup, like a lot more mouths to feed on that offense. So I think that's why we're seeing a little bit of a downtrend in Zeke. But he's still Zeke, he can still pound in those touchdowns. He can still pound a huge run out. Remember, Derrick Henry struggled for a long time before he broke out.
He'll have a big game soon.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna break out.
I mean, Derrick Henry struggled all game at the weekend, and then suddenly broke out like a 40-yard run, which then turned into yards and yards and yards and touchdowns, and it just all happened all of a sudden. It was really abrupt and quick. I expect the same kind of thing from Elliott at some point. Probably not on that scale, but a decent scale.
Yeah, he'll pull out a big 30-40 point fantasy game at some point.
It's gonna be a nice Monday Night Football Cowboys-Eagles classic. So having said that, though, do we move them up? Because I was trying to think of the teams that need a little bit of like shifting down, and I think the 49ers just keep not showing up.
Yeah, I've not been impressed with the 49ers. I don't think you can move the Ravens down. Massive,
Oh no.
massive
I will move
victory for
them.
them.
I'll move them down.
I was going to say potentially move them up. I think 49ers have to drop.
Here's my straight up take on these. I would actually, out of these last 5, so we're talking Cowboys, Ravens, Raiders, 49ers, Seahawks, I would move Raiders, Ravens, Cowboys up. Not sure which one ahead of which yet, and bring the Seahawks and 49ers down. I mean, 49ers, like we just said, they haven't really shown up anything. Seahawks dropped a big lead against the Texans. Big.
Titans.
We're up by almost Titans. But I was like 24, 25 points. Unreal. Like, you just can't do that. So I think losing a game, sure. Dropping a lead like that is just it amounts to like bringing them down a bit.
At the half, they were up 24-9, and then obviously Titans and Derrick Henry just. I mean, what did he finish with? 182 yards on 35 carries.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns.
So
Julio Jones finished with 128 yards. Deserved to have a touchdown. It looked like he was in for that.
I agree.
So yeah, I think Titans were mad.
We'll return, by the way.
That
was what's crazy.
Mad. Yeah, I can't believe. Yeah, that was.
If you don't call it a touchdown and there's not enough to overturn it into a touchdown, fine. But that's not conclusive enough to overturn a touchdown.
I agree.
That was insane.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so so we're putting Raiders, Ravens, and Cowboys ahead of those two. Yeah, so bring them down.
Yep.
I would agree. I think the Seahawks have been better than the 49ers. So I would be happy leaving those two in that order. It's just then how we organize those three.
Yeah.
I personally think Raiders. Yeah, I was going to say I think Raiders have to stay because they've.
And if they lost against the Ravens?
Raiders have had the toughest schedule and they're 2-0.
And they beat the Ravens,
though. Yeah, exactly. So that's why
they beat the Ravens. Sorry,
the Ravens lost. So Raiders definitely 100% there. I think if they continue on their trajectory, they go up to conference contenders.
They could very well do, yeah.
But I would leave them as is because no one was this high on the Raiders to begin with. It's week 2, going into week 3.
Yeah.
Slow the row a little bit. Let's see what they do in week 3 and week 4 before we put them up a little bit higher.
Just going back to the Ravens as well. I mean, incredible game from Lamar on the ground. Potentially getting back to MVP level.
No,
Lamar, or you think this is a flash in the pan?
No. I think
he had a few
he's
nice plays.
Yeah, he's very, very good, but not MVP level. Not when you have the likes of like Tom Brady and especially Kyler Murray. I think he's kind of like leading the MVP race right now. I don't think he's quite on that level.
Do you guys see that post? I think it was by ESPN saying, like, putting photos of 4 QBs and saying like something like, "Oh, like we have such look at the quality of young quarterbacks that we have. We have a nice decade ahead." And there's like Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson,
Patrick
Mahomes, and then Tom Brady.
Yeah.
We have a whole decade. That guy will keep playing. Okay, so now this is my intrigue because I want to drop the Steelers out of that. I think they looked yucky. How low do they go? And problem is when we take out a conference contender,
surely we then have to
put one up. No,
I mean, could you argue the Raiders?
I think it's a huge jump what we're doing.
By that logic, we should put the Vikings down into underdog because there's not enough.
That's true. So my logic was going to be Raiders going up would have been a huge leap. Ravens going above and taking Steelers' place would be logical because they would be above the Raiders who they lost to. So by those two, I guess we're just stuck with the Steelers dropping. I don't know where though. I'm glad that let's just leave him here for now. I liked what I saw from Najee. Liked that they used him in the pass catching abilities. But I don't know. Dan. What do you think?
Yeah, give us your Steelers takes for this week.
The Steelers stunk, and I would leave them exactly where you put them. Don't think the Cowboys are quite there yet. I think the Steelers looked great apart from quarterback play. The wide receivers are ridiculously good. They have 3 top-tier wide receivers, Chase Claypool, Juju, and also Deontay Johnson. They have an amazing running back. They have 2 very decent, competent tight ends. They have an elite defense who stopped the Raiders many, many times to give the offense opportunities. Offense didn't produce. If Big Ben does not throw those stupid interceptions every week, the Steelers are a very, very good team. It seems like every time the pocket collapses, he just launches the ball downfield and is like, praise to God that it lands in a Steelers' hand or out of bounds. And there's the 1 or 2 a week that end up in the opposition's hand and they get to run it to the 30 or 40 line. They get an amazing chance to score. So I think if they iron out those plays, offensive line gets a bit stronger. They're a very, very decent team. It's early in the season. I wouldn't drop them too far. The Steelers did stink, but the Raiders are also very, very good, and the Raiders made the Ravens look like they suck too. And the Ravens are still there. So I think they're there. I think if they lose this week, who are the Steelers playing this weekend? I completely forgot. Let me check.
Bengals.
They're playing the Bengals. That's a good game. I think if the Steelers lose against the Bengals, then you can think about putting them where the Vikings are, possibly putting them into underdog, because they do have the hardest strength of schedule. But I expect the Steelers to win. But again, last weekend, of course, I thought the Steelers were going to win against the Raiders, and I was wrong about that as well.
Yeah, Big King still thinks they should be dropping lower than that, but I agree. I think let's see how they do against the Bengals, and we sort of go from there.
Big King, I don't know. Ask Daniel.
Yeah, he said why were Steelers ever that high?
I can tell you why the Steelers are high. They have one of the best defenses in the league. They have 3 very good wide receivers. Most teams barely have 2. They have an amazing running back. Their only issue is a little bit of the offensive line and also the quarterback, which is old. But he's good. Big Ben is good, but he does stupid stuff like throwing the ball downfield when the pocket collapses. That's his issue. Is if he just takes the sack there, I think the Steelers win that game. But he doesn't take this test. He doesn't take the sack. So
I'm glad you brought that up because that's the main issue that I don't like with Big Ben, and it's like you've been in the league so many years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are rookie mistakes that you're doing, but when he throws those passes to Chase Claypool, they're clean.
Yeah,
they're really clean.
Oh yeah, he throws about 55 passes. I think it's like between 50 and 55 passes a game, and he's getting 30 to 40 passes completed. It's a lot of short 10-yard passes, 5 to 10-yard passes, quick, clean. It's the issue is when he holds the ball and that pocket collapses and he panics and throws the ball downfield, hoping that it's a clean throw. And if he's hit, that's when it's a really easy interception to make. So that's my issue with Big Ben right there.
Big King's not giving this up. He's put one
good receiver. Are you kidding me?
One good receiver in Claypool, a crap O-line, and an overrated defense.
To be fair,
the
defense was hurt.
That's insane. The defense has 2 of the best linebackers in the league. And to say Juju is one of the best. Look at his stats right now. Let me pull up Juju's stats right now, and I'll tell you how good Juju is, and I'll also tell you how good Deontay Johnson is, because that is blasphemy.
Such an outrageous call that we lost Seb. Sebo. Big King,
Seb's frozen. You destroyed Seb.
Yeah. There we go. Do we have Sebo back?
I can see his avatar. That's it.
Sorry about that, boys. Sorry about that.
Deontay Johnson, 105 yards last week, 9 receptions. Juju he got 6 receptions, but only 41 yards. Again, that's part of because Juju is playing in the slot now. Juju is not playing on the outside. He is playing in the slot, so all his receptions are going to be that 5 to 15 yard passes. Instead of the long ones to Chase Claypool or, I don't even think Chase Claypool is the best wide receiver in the team. I think Deontay Johnson is. So, yeah.
There we go. And that's Steelers watch for you.
Yeah, that's my
Let's leave
Steelers.
it this.
We'll talk
let's
about the
leave it
Steelers
at that.
next week. There's always a long
Yeah.
talk about the Steelers from me. Sorry.
We'll leave the Steelers as that. What time? Yeah, what time is this game kicking off tonight? Because I don't know how much longer we've
It's
got.
in
Like
30
25
minutes, so
minutes.
let's try. Okay, I mean the rest of the top tier is pretty easy to talk about anyway. So
Yeah, I don't think we're
we can run
gonna
through the
move
rest.
anyone too drastically.
No.
So, if we do conference contenders,
Yeah.
any movement
But
do you feel
I
from those, Gabbo or Daniel?
Oh, sorry, Gabbo, you can go first, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna, just because of the comeback, the way they kind of like analyzed their position and were like, let's pass it to Derrick Henry and play around him. That was a great call. I would bump them maybe above the Browns, especially after the Browns kind of struggling a little bit in their last game. But I'm okay with leaving as is. I mean, the Cardinals are looking amazing. The defense is a little flaky, but I wouldn't yet bump them up because of simply the fact that we have the Rams up there in that conference. So I'm happy to either leave as is or switch Browns and the Titans.
I would personally leave it as it is. I think all of them showed some really good bits in their games, and then all of them had some sort of shaky bits. Like again, the Cardinals could very well have lost to the Vikings. Again, one. I mean, if I'd kicked that, we would have won the game. I'm not gonna lie. The Browns again, not totally convincing against the Texans, and the Titans again had to sort of come back. Although they did have a good comeback, they put themselves in a hole to start with. So I would be happy to leave them as.
What do you think, Dan?
I would put Titans above Cleveland just because Cleveland lost their first game and struggled against a pretty terrible Texans team, and they only won, because Tyrod Taylor had to leave due to a hamstring injury. They were struggling big time against them. Texas defense was lighting them up, and when the safety Justin Reed came off, and then also Tyrod Taylor came off, that's when things kind of fell apart for the Texans. So Tennessee Titans looked very good. I also kind of completely forgot that the Ravens beat Kansas City. So I'm very tempted to actually bump them up to conference contender. I know they lost against the Raiders, but the Raiders are a very good team. But then they turned it around. Very, very difficult start for the Ravens, but turned it around against the Chiefs. So I would be happy to move the Ravens up. I completely forgot about that.
I'm more than happy. The only logic was the whole the Raiders did beat them, but
I know.
I do agree. But I do agree. I mean, the Ravens was a close game between those two,
and I think it makes more sense because we had the Ravens there to begin with, and then we dropped them down when they lost, and then to go back up is easier. Yeah, I think it's always bad. It's an easier leap up when you've already had them there previously. So I think having the Ravens there, that looks a lot better, a lot cleaner to me. But I think because of that loss, Kansas City now has to drop.
I drop them one actually.
That's what I was gonna say. I'd put the Rams above.
I thought you meant drop
No, not that drastic. I would drop. Yeah, perfect. I would leave it actually just like that.
There you go.
Kansas City kind of. I mean, it was a very close game. It was a 1-point game, so we can't drop them any further than that. You think so?
That, yes.
I would not.
Because the only reason why we dropped them was that fluke of a game with the Saints that we keep talking that it's only week 1. Now Rodgers came back pumping. I don't think the
Bills did just absolutely destroy.
Bills wiped the Dolphins off of the map. They didn't even let a single point, not even a point, went in.
But Tua went down super early. Josh Allen hasn't been the Josh Allen that everyone's expecting and drafting for. Zach Moss nowhere to be found.
Yeah, but you didn't beat a top tier team. You beat the Lions. There's nothing to me that says the Green Bay Packers are back. They beat the Lions.
If it was the Ravens beating the Chiefs, I think it could be argued. But I think because you both beat subpar opposition, I don't think it's enough to move.
You can move if the Bills lose this week and the Green Bay Packers beat the 49ers, then you can easily move them
100%,
up.
100%.
Until I see, I mean, Buffalo Bills only lost against the Steelers opening day, very close game, but Green Bay got absolutely wiped by the Saints, who are in badish right now. I would 100% put the Bills.
No, I agree. And this is 2v1, so you got to move them back.
Gabbo is desperate.
You've muted yourself. You've muted yourself, bro.
Wait, did I?
No,
You
you're
did,
back now,
yeah.
you're back now.
Now you're back, yeah.
Yeah.
What did
I
you
don't know what happened
say?
there. Oh, I said that it may be 2v1, but I have the power, so.
Oh.
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, this is a big week though
Fine.
because who did the Bills play? Sorry, the Bills play Washington, which is I think it's gonna be a low-scoring game, and Green Bay are playing the Niners. I
mean-
hope this is the week the Niners we can drop them down to underdog, and I think I'm hoping.
To be fair, I will put my subjective ass to the side. Our defense wasn't really, big woof. Second half defense was amazing, incredible. The first half, we did nothing to stop the Lions.
Yeah.
So
I was
fine,
really
I'll
worried
take
for
it.
you. I was worried for you. I was thinking.
I was
oh my
It wasn't
God.
for our
was
bet,
loving it.
though.
Yeah, for our bet it was amazing because I was like, yes, more touchdowns.
Yeah.
But for you, I was like, holy crap, you're gonna lose to the Detroit. What is happening to this
That would have been
Packers
amazing.
team?
I would have loved that. I assume we're happy leaving the Bucks as they are then.
Yeah.
No, the Bucks
Yeah,
are looking
I don't think-
incredible.
Yeah, I don't think we
Um,
can really do anything about them. I think I'm
I like
happy
it.
with that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't like that we have 3 underdog contenders and like 6, 7 good challengers, but
But then there could be 6 or 7 good challenges.
I think the Chargers and 49ers are gonna lose this weekend. Maybe even the Steelers. So we could have a huge underdog contender group and a
That's
small
true,
good
yeah.
challenger. So let's wait and see.
maybe Justin Fields shows up and we bump the Bears up. So
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
You never know.
I mean, the Vikings are gonna go in and just batter the Seahawks,
But-
so they'll be back up to conference contenders.
I think what we're seeing here, though, is a very clear split in the NFL between the crap teams and the very good teams. Like,
Yeah.
you're already
Yeah.
seeing, like, this rift appearing where that underdog is becoming very, very small, and then the two fatter areas, if you will.
Yeah.
The only team I can really see, like, moving up is probably the Panthers because they're 2-0, and they have a good chance of going 3-0. We could possibly have to move them up, but
I
Yeah.
think the Patriots as well. I think the Patriots are still like trying to show what they have. If Mac Jones keeps improving, we could see them moving
Yeah.
up.
yeah.
I'll give a little shout out to the Eagles as well. I think Jalen Hurts has shown he's got some potential. I don't know. I maybe.
I don't know
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he did
Um,
play a strong defense, but we'll see.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got 20 minutes now to have a quick chat about tonight's game, which is going to be the Carolina Panthers at the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
We've got obviously a Houston Texans fan in the building. How do you feel about this evening's frivolities, Daniel?
This should not be a Thursday night football game. This sucks. What really annoys me is that we got 2 4:25 kickoffs, which are like top tier kickoffs that we have to like split screen, and then we have this game where
That's true.
there's only one game, which really
And again,
stinks.
I mean, last the Monday night game that was. Sorry, it was last week's Thursday
Yeah.
game. Again, Washington against.
New
It's just
York
like-
Giants. Yeah,
I mean, come on now.
it's
That's still work.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a very winnable game for the Panthers, especially. I think it would be a closer game than most would anticipate if Tyrod was playing, but Davis Mills, his first start as a quarterback, is always going to be incredibly difficult. He looked decent, all right, average, very below average maybe against the Browns, but I think we're going to struggle mightily without a lot of weapons there. So yeah, I think this is going to be a blowout by the Panthers. Unfortunately, I think Christian McCaffrey will probably go for 125, 130 yards rushing and probably about 90 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns, something ridiculous. I mean, the Texans are notorious for not being able to stop the rush defense, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone puts up massive numbers. So
True. Yeah. No. I mean, back to back. But the thing is, so last week we said the same about the Washington football team Giants is like a crappy Thursday night game, and it ended up being an amazing
true.
Thursday game.
That's
True,
true.
true,
That's
true.
true.
It ended up 1-point game. I remember I was the only one that stayed up. You passed out. I'm
I
pretty
did.
sure.
But the thing is, I can't
think
stay
that
up
passed
past
out
like
as well.
10. Like I'm like lights out. It's 10 o'clock. I got work in the
How
morning.
do you think it is for
I'm
me? It's
going.
now
That's
1,
true. But you don't have work in the
1:02
morning,
a.m.
so it's different.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
so I'm like, I wake up to like an astonishing score. It's kind of cool though, because my Thursday night football carries into Friday morning, because then I get to rewatch all the bits and pieces that I passed out to. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it though. I mean, it's the only time I think I'm going to be able to watch the Texans on primetime TV. So I think it's their only scheduled game. There's a reason for that, because they suck. But yeah.
So, fantasy-wise, who do you start? Who do you sit?
In this
what are we
game?
thinking here? Christian McCaffrey is an obvious.
Brandon
you
Cooks
certainly
is-
gonna be-
Yeah, he's gonna be. He's gonna just go wild, isn't he? Let's be honest.
I mean, Brandon Cooks is definitely a huge start for me. The Danny Amendola, I think, is rolled out for this game, so that's another Texans
Yeah,
receiver out.
I was just gonna say, yeah, on the injury report we have Danny Amendola's out. Obviously, Deshaun is not playing. Terrence Mitchell, cornerback, is not playing. No one else from an offensive perspective is on either injury report. So otherwise, everyone is good to go.
One player to watch is for making his Texans debut today is Anthony Miller, the ex Chicago Bears wide receiver. I think he has a huge part to play in this Texans offense. I'm going to keep a close eye on him in redrafts because
That's
he is
huge eye.
super explosive. I mean, the Texans have no other wide receiver. I mean, apart from Danny Amendola. So I would, if you are watching this, keep a close eye on how Anthony Miller fares in tonight's game. I think he's going to be thrown into the action fairly quickly because he's been out with an injury, but Texans have to throw someone on there. Also, their first round pick, Nico, can't remember his last name, maybe Nico Williams, is on IR as well. So the Texans are really, really thin at wide receiver. So Anthony Miller and Brandon
Someone's got to
Cooks.
catch the ball.
Yeah, so or we're going to be seeing Mark Ingram and Philip Lindsay catching balls from the backfield.
I think Philip Lindsay had an increased target share reception wise.
He is the pass catching running back, and Mark Ingram is very much the three down running back. You don't really see Philip Lindsay carrying the ball too much for the Texans. It is very much Philip Lindsay catching the ball and Mark Ingram carrying. But then I guess we can look at it from a Panthers standpoint. Are they going to be? I think it's going to be quite a heavy offense on their side.
Yeah. Well, before moving on to the Panthers, a question for you. So I'm struggling right now because I have Brandon Cooks in my league, and I don't know if I should still put him in and give OBJ a try instead with Jarvis Landry out.
No. You have to go Brandon Cooks.
My only thought is that, he is the one guy. He's the only guy, whatever. Will they be able to throw the ball? Because what we saw from the Panthers defense against the Saints scares me.
Well, the Texans aren't going to be running it when they're down. Let me put it that way. This is a team, although they suck and although they want a good draft pick, they do want to win. And we've seen that in week 1. I do think the Texans are going to be down for the vast majority of this game, but they are a team that puts in a good fight. When is Brandon Cooks not being good? Yeah, I do think. I mean, okay, we can talk about OBJ. Like, what have we seen from him in the past 3 seasons? Nothing.
At least the QB play is better for OBJ, I would say, though.
But there's no competition in Houston, and then in Cleveland, there's a ton of competition from both running backs and wide receivers. So I would 100%.
Kareem Hunt's been receiving passes, hasn't he?
But tell me, when has OBJ as a Cleveland Brown been any use at all? Not he hasn't. Healthy or not, he's not been good. So
we're talking about opportunities here, right? And the thing is, like, my concern is, first of all, the third QB string. Fourth, even down, things weren't able to move the ball. And sure, it's Jameis Winston. Interception, Winston, but laugh. Okay, fine, whatever.
I smiled. I smiled.
But he struggled to even do something in the air. So
the
I'm
Browns'
wondering-
defense is better than the Panthers' defense, and Davis Mills last week against the Browns put up 102 yards, nearly identical to Tyrod Taylor, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So he's not like he's got a better stat line than Jameis Winston has, and the Browns are a much more difficult defense to play against, especially in a close game. I mean, 14 targets for Brandon Cooks. When are you going to see OBJ with 14 targets? And that's
without Jarvis Landry.
Is he out?
Look at Jarvis Landry's targets when he was his first week. Look at what he put up. So I'm thinking that OBJ is going to take that role.
That's not true though, because they have Bryant, who had 4 targets, 4 receptions. Austin Hooper, 5 targets, 5 receptions. Higgins, 2 targets, 2 receptions. Joko, 3 targets. Peoples-Jones, a target. Chubb and Kareem Hunt both had targets. Schwartz, the rookie wide receiver, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different receivers last week in the Browns, whereas the Texans...
when Jarvis came down, when his number 1 guy fell down. So
yeah, but Jarvis only had 1 target before he came down, so he either doesn't get that many targets or he came out early. I don't know which one it was.
It was his first touch at the beginning.
Yeah, and then everyone else got the targets. OBJ is injured. We don't even know if he's playing.
That's what I said. Is this his first game back?
This is his first game in a year. But everyone is still stuck on OBJ being this guy who was amazing in New York, and I give him that. But it's been 3 years. What has he done as a Cleveland Brown? Nothing. 0. He is a third wide receiver 3 or flex
this is against
play.
Me. Play Odell. Play Odell Beckham.
I would not touch Odell Beckham Jr. with a stick. I wouldn't even play him even if I had 4 wide receivers to play in fantasy this week. He is a no play for me. Do not touch him until he proves something. Brandon Cooks proves every week, no matter who he's played with, whether it was the Rams or the Texans, he is literally always Mr. Dependable. You do not bench Brandon Cooks.
All right, Seb. Let's see if your boy just screwed you here. Because I had OBJ in the lineup until just now.
God damn it, Dan. He best not go off now. I'm going to be very disappointed. Just while we're on fantasy, I had a question I wanted to put to you guys as well, because we briefly discussed earlier in one of my leagues, I am an owner of Mr. Lamar Jackson. Actually, in the same league that we've just discussed, Brandon Cooks for you. So you can give me advice on how to beat Gabbo after you've just told Gabbo how to beat me.
Perfect.
So yeah, Lamar Jackson is questionable with an illness. I don't really know what to do. I currently don't have any QB backup on my bench. So I feel as though I should pick up someone.
Okay, yeah. I mean, for sure you should pick up someone.
I need to pick up someone. My options...
But I wouldn't panic until Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go too mad. My options...
I wouldn't drop anyone.
Are limited, though. Daniel Jones against Atlanta, I feel, is... I'm keeping an eye on. After that, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater's playing against the Jets.
Carr?
Yeah. Carr against Miami could be the play there. What's he had so far? First week he had 24, and then he got 24. Yeah, so I mean, it's solid.
Look at his yard. 435 week 1, 382.
Yeah, how did he only end up with that?
800 yards in 2 games.
But he only got. I mean, I feel those points aren't that great. But I think he's only got 2 touchdowns each. Yeah. So I think it probably will be either Daniel Jones or Derek Carr. I imagine. I don't really want to pick up Goff, even though I mean they're playing the Ravens and they will be behind. He's going to need to throw. I don't know.
I think it's very obvious for you. I think it's very obvious for you.
Take Carr?
I mean, even I'm telling you and you're against me. It's Derek Carr. It's just they're playing the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They're going to have the ball most of the time. I feel like Daniel Jones, yes, he can give you, he's been playing super well and he's been running. But I feel like it's a bit more of a toss-up than Derek Carr.
I would start Derek Carr over Lamar Jackson this week.
You'd start him over Lamar?
If Lamar Jackson
Ravens
is
fan?
injured, there is a chance that he may come out, or ill, there is a chance he may come out during the game. Derek Carr does not come out during games. I would start Derek Carr. Easier matchup probably too.
Right. Who do I drop then? Who do I drop?
That's the thing. Like, do you not have anyone on IR that you can throw in IR?
I don't at the minute.
Who is your bench spots?
So I have Jamal Williams, James White. It might be
James White. Goodbye. Don't even. Why is he even
What?
on your
No,
team?
no. Okay, no, drop him. Please do.
Because
do.
he is behind Damian
drop him.
Williams as RB1, isn't he? But he does get a lot of the goal line touches. He got 15 last week. Then I have Elijah Mitchell, Julio Jones, Devontae Smith, DJ Chark. So it might be DJ Chark actually.
I mean, trust Dan. Drop James White.
If you're depending on someone for goal line touches, I would not ever put them in the lineup. That's the riskiest thing. That's a very matchup orientated kind of pick, and also not one I have high confidence in ever.
I've got time, so I'm probably going to leave it for now. But I value your.
I would wait and see what Lamar Jackson's outcome is in the coming days.
The only other slight quandary I'm in is my defense, because again I have got the Bucks playing against the Rams, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I might have a look at another defense.
So I'll give you my thoughts on what I've been doing in this other league. I have the 49ers as my defense. They have a terrible schedule. They still put up points. They're still a good defense. They still do sacks. They still do interceptions. They still do,
I think that's what I'm meaning. They're probably not going to get the points, the fantasy points for keeping the Rams out of the end zone. I think the Rams will probably score, but they have still got that potential for getting to the QB, taking picks. They have got the occasional pick six here and there, so I think I probably will stick with the Bucks. But yeah, it's just. I
mean, this is the thing. Your option is either to drop the Bucks and get another defense, start the Bucks, or pick up somebody else and drop something else to have two defenses just for this week.
I hate having two defenses. I think it's just
I agree.
A waste of
But like
spot.
for example, in this other league that I have the Patriots, and the Patriots have like the second half of the schedule is super juicy. So for this week, I mean, bear in mind that one has like 9 bench spots. So I was able to pick up a defense. But look, if I were you, after the Rams, they play Mac Jones, they play Jacoby Brissett with the Dolphins, they play the Eagles, they play the Bears, they play the Saints, they play Heineke with the Washington football team. They have the Giants, the Colts, Falcons.
I think I will ride with them. I think I'll ride with them. Yeah.
I would ride with them.
Yeah. Anything else that either of you guys want to add just for this game, which is going to kick off fairly shortly? So I think
we didn't talk about Carolina.
We didn't really talk about Carolina actually.
Yeah, super quickly. We have Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore. It started him.
Yep, definitely. Yeah.
Game. Robbie Anderson, I'd still play along. I'd still.
He could be. It's a good flex option there.
Yeah, like if you don't have another flex option, I would still go for it. Sam Darnold, I'm assuming he's being started in 2 QB leagues or as a streaming option. But I mean, I wouldn't put my eggs in that basket.
Yeah, deeper dynasty leagues, maybe he's going to end up getting a start. But McCaffrey's the main draw here. He's living up to his 1.1 draft spot so far this season. I think he's going to end up having a huge year. Yeah.
So mad that he got 20 plus points without a touchdown first week. That was incredible.
That's crazy. Yeah, crazy. Anything else to add, Dan, Panthers wise?
No, I want to go for my dinner and watch the game.
We'll leave it at that.
Get the hell out of here.
Thank you guys for those of you that joined us and watched. If you did turn up and you haven't subscribed, drop a little subscription, because this is what we're doing. We're just chatting football. Just chatting some football. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We will leave it at that. Enjoy your Thursday night football. And we will speak to you at some point over the weekend.
Go Texans.
Peace.